wouldn't even consider it because they've got 3 kids at home, so they wouldn't consider letting her just go to bed rest at home. So they're like, no.
It's a long time to sit in the hospital.
That's a long time. Yeah.
I stayed there for 5 days with my dad.
Okay, we're on roll.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the Guthrie Public Schools Board of Education regular monthly meeting on July 11, 2022. Call to order, please.
Smedley. Here. Gerard.
Here.
Schroeder. Flagg.
Here.
Pearson.
Here.
Davis. Here. Salee.
Here.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Please let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So as we begin this meeting, let us pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, agenda item 6, comments to the board by citizens registered to speak.
We have none.
Comments to the board by board members. Okay, moving on to agenda item 7, superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. The first item I want to mention is I want to recognize our Chief Financial Officer, Michelle Chappell, for a milestone achievement. On June 24th, she officially earned her PhD in Business Administration from Walden University. So congratulations, Dr. Chappell.
Congratulations.
Summer project update. The restroom renovation project at the high school is well underway. New windows at the junior high are approximately 70% installed. Looking at Cody, he didn't say no. I think that's probably about right. And interior work on sealing the windows and the sills are ongoing. The reconfiguration of the HVAC in the junior high is underway as well. And the junior high gym HVAC project is mostly complete with some fine tuning to occur. And then we expect, the HVAC work at Guess is complete with some fine tuning still to come as well. And then we expect demolition of the house along Harrison behind the junior high to begin soon as the necessary permits and approvals from the utilities have been received. And work at the junior high and the high school will continue throughout the school year. And we will work through all of that. And so online enrollment, we've had a lot of questions and people brought things up and trying to figure out and sort this out. We had a soft beginning to online enrollment today. We have not publicized it, but it is on the website. We did that intentionally because there are still some bugs that we're working out. But like I said, the information's on the website. A reminder to parents that we've completely transitioned to our new student information database, which is called Infinite Campus. And those that are enrolling will notice a much more intuitive enrollment experience than what we've had in the past. But without that being said, we're still working out some of the bugs, and we've gone through extensive testing, and we are, for the most part, it operated fairly trouble-free as a parent that went through and enrolled my 2 kids. I was one of the test cases. I believe Ms. Young was one of the test cases. Mr. Ogle's family did a test case and a few others, and we gave Dee lots of input. It's probably more than he wanted. The next item, we were recently informed that the 22-23 school year will signal a return to students paying for their meals unless they have completed the free and reduced lunch application and have been approved for the program. We were waiting to see how that panned out, and it looks like that is how that's going to be the process going forward. Remember, we had 2 years of 2 years plus the time that we were closed during COVID, where students, regardless of their income, were not expected to pay for their lunches, and that has now changed. I wanted to mention, you may notice Mr. LeGrand is absent tonight. He is currently attending the NASSP Educational Summit in, drawing a blank here on where he is. I want to say is it Nashville? Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you, Mr. Ogle. And he is presenting on advocacy efforts that we have ongoing in Oklahoma at the conference. So that's a bonus for our district as he's a presenter. And a reminder to the board members that the OSSBA COSA Conference is not far away, August 25th through the 28th, and please visit with Samantha if you would like to register to attend. And that's my report. Oh, I did want to mention on consent agenda, we removed from the consent agenda the minutes from the meeting that was where we did not have full membership of the board, so you will not have to pull anything because of that. If there's any other items that board members would like to pull, obviously you can, but we took that and made it separate so we don't have that confusion. If we can continue to remember to do that and make it easier for everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Simpson. Okay, agenda item 8, the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Flagg,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Salee,
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, agenda item 9, minutes of special meeting held on June 27th, 2022.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the minutes of the special meeting held on June 27th, 2022.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Flagg,
Yes.
Pearson,
Abstain.
Davis,
Yes.
Salee,
Yes.
5 ayes and 1 abstain.
Okay, agenda item 10, moving on to the business agenda. So 10A, recommendation, consideration, and action to approve Ms. Carmen Walters as the authorized official for GPS to sign any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education.
We bring this to you annually to authorize Ms. Walters, as she is the person that oversees federal programs for the district, and the board needs to give her that authorization. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve Carmen Walters as the authorized official for GPS to sign any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Flagg,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Salee,
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10B, recommendation, consideration, and action to approve Ms. Angie Young as the authorized official for GPS to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for projects 613, 615, 621, 623, 625, 628, 641, 642, and 643.
Similar to the previous agenda item, this is an item that we bring to you annually for authorization with Ms. Young. Recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley,
Yes.
Gerard,
Yes.
Flagg,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Salee,
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10C, agreement with Betsy Chin, BCBA of BC Behavioral LLC, to provide specialized services related to the provision of educational and behavioral services for students for the 2022 to 2023 school year.
We've done business with Ms. Chin and used her services for a number of years, and would recommend approval of this as these services are required to be provided by law.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with Betsy Chen, BCBA, BC Behavioral LLC, to provide specialized services relating to the provision of educational and behavioral services for students for the 2022-2023 school year.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10D, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal agreement with Ms. Teresa Ewing to provide physical therapy services for 2022 to 2023.
This, again, we've had a relationship with Ms. Ewing for a number of years as well, and these services are required by law. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agreement with Teresa Young to provide physical therapy services for 2022-2023.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10E, recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with University of Oklahoma National Center for Disability Education and Training.
Pages 176 through 185 of your packet contain this agreement, and this is an item that Ms. Young brought to us. This is no charge to the district. And Angie, this is second year of this? Third year, okay. And it's worked out well for us. We recommend approval to renew.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with the University of Oklahoma National Center for Disability and Education and Training.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
So agenda item 10F, I think Dr. Simpson asked that we pull that.
Yes, I would ask that we pull that from the agenda. We will bring that to you next month with some further changes.
Okay. So moving on to agenda item 10G, recommendation, consideration, action upon Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2022 to 2023.
This begins the long string of handbooks that are in your packet. Page 222 is where this handbook begins. And we have reviewed these in committees already. 222 begins the Red Line Master with Guthrie Upper Elementary. Recommend approval, and I believe, let's see, Mr. Plagg, did you?
Item I and item J is the ones we need to make
Okay.
corrections to.
Okay. So recommend approval of item G, the handbook for Guthrie Upper Elementary.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the handbook for Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2022-23. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, agenda item 10H, recommendation, consideration, action upon junior high school student handbook for 2022 to 2023.
Page 252 through 289 in your packet is the junior high handbook. That has the red line recommendations as well. And there was one notation, I believe Ms. Pearson caught, that we need to, on the cover of that, we need to add under Steve Carroll that he is a counselor. Mr. Ogle, can you see that? Page 252. Recommend approval with that recommended change.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the junior high student handbook for 2022-2023.
Second.
Do we need to include
With the recommended change.
with the recommended
Oh, with
change?
the recommended changes, I'm sorry.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10I, recommendation, consideration, and action upon favor alternative school student handbook for 2022 to 2023.
Okay, Mr. Plagg, I believe you noted
Page 292, the correction should be, Chris Schroeder should be listed as the second vice president.
okay.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the favor alternative school handbook for 2022-2023 with the correction of Chris Schroeder as the second vice president on page 292.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10J, recommendation, consideration, and action upon Guthrie High School student handbook for 2022 to 2023.
I believe, Mr. Plagg, you noticed the same item there, and that's on page 320?
Yes.
Okay. I will say on both the favor and the high school handbook, I've asked our staff also on the cover of it. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't being overly picky or anal about this, but we're going to try and get the Blue Jay head centered in the middle of the page too. So,
Can I ask a question?
sure.
Is there a reason why we don't use the same format on every school for the cover page and whatnot?
Sounds like
I just think-
there's not a reason.
I just think wouldn't it be much easier when it comes to formatting and making changes from one to the next, that it would be much easier for that to flow
I guess,
across the board from school to school?
I guess it's been in that format, and they just adapted each year adopted.
Just,
But we can.
I'm just thinking for ease to make it flow all the way across from school to school. But that's just
That's
me.
a great idea, and we can work toward that for next year.
Then you just got one page to change all across the board for the name of the school. But anyway, that's my OCD kicking in. Sorry.
Right.
And centered.
We're all confessing here tonight.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Guthrie High School student handbook for 2022-2023, correcting page 320, with Chris Schroeder being the second vice president.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10K, recommendation, consideration, and action upon Guthrie High School course description handbook for 2022 to 2023.
Pages 352 through 401, and that is the Red Line Master as well. We reviewed that extensively in Curriculum Committee. If there are any questions, Mr. Ogle is here to offer his opinions. Recommend approval.
Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the Guthrie High School course description handbook for 2022-2023.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10L, recommendation, consideration, action upon school bus riders handbook for 2022 to 2023.
This is page 402 through 411 of your packet. Mr. Ogle is also bringing this item. If there are any changes, we'll be glad to address those or any concerns.
I make a motion that we approve the school bus riders handbook for 2022-2023.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Clegg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10M, recommendation, consideration, action upon school bus drivers and monitors handbook for 2022 to 2023.
Pages 412 through 435 is your red line master for that document. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the school bus drivers and monitors handbook for 2022-2023.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Clegg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10N, recommendation, consideration, and action upon memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology programs for 8th grade students for 2022 to 2023.
This is an annual item that requires the board's ratification. This is where Meridian provides us with $50,000 toward this program, and that it has proven to be a very successful program for our students, and we would recommend that we approve this memorandum of agreement.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the memorandum of understanding between between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology programs for 8th grade students for 2022 through 23.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Clegg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10O, recommendation, consideration, and action upon loan agreement with Child Nutrition Fund for 2022-2023.
This is an item that we bring annually at this meeting for startup money, if needed, for child nutrition, and would recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the loan agreement with Child Nutrition Fund for 2022-2023.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Clegg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10P, recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2022 to 2023.
This is an annual renewal of the agreement that we have with Imperial for our food snack vending machines. Would recommend approval.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2022 and 2023.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Cody, did you get him to put beef jerky back in the... I said, did you get him to put beef jerky back in there?
Cody's tasked with getting the windows done first before school starts. That's more important.
Roll call, please.
I say, I'll buy you some beef jerky if it keeps you happy and keeps the windows going.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Clegg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10Q, recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with Renaissance Learning, Inc., Star 360.
This, pages 441 through 445, this is an item that we bring to you for our, I believe we started this last year, is this year 2, Carmen? Yeah. Of utilizing this at the elementary level. Had a modest increase of about $2,700. Would recommend approval of this agreement.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agreement with Renaissance Learning, Inc., Star 360.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Clegg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10R, recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with Renaissance Learning, Inc., Freckle.
It's page 446 through 450, and this item is something for their 3rd and 4th grade students to give them an additional tool in the classroom. We're using ESSER funds, ESSER 3 funds, to pay for this. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move we approve the agreement with Renaissance Learning, Inc., Freckle.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10S, recommendation, consideration, action upon renewal agreement with Northwest Evaluation Association.
Pages 451 and 452 are contain this agreement. This is for our map testing program, and while we've utilized this in multiple grades, we've pared this down to grades 5 and 6, and that's for what we would like to use again for this coming school year. Recommend approval of this agreement.
Mr. President, I make a motion to renew the agreement with Northwest Evaluation Associates.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10T, recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with Enrollment, Exact Path and Courseware for 2022 to 2023 school year.
This is an item that originally was provided by the State Department of Education. We have had the desire to continue use of it and are using ESSER funds to enhance the learning with that, and would recommend approval for this coming year.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agreement with Edmonton Exact Path and Courseware for 2022-2023.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10U, recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with, what is that?
IXL.
IXL, okay. Learning for the 2022-23 school year. I wasn't sure if that was a Roman numeral or a
We're going with it
IXL.
like that.
Okay.
1XL.
There you go.
Pages 456 through 459. This is, again, another tool that we utilize in the classroom to enhance learning. This will be paid for by Title I federal funds. Recommend approval.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with IXL Learning for 2022-2023.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10V, recommendation, consideration, action of adding esports to the list of extracurricular activities offered at the Guthrie High School.
This is an item that the OSSAA began state championships with this past year, and is something that is growing exponentially among high schools for an extracurricular activity. And as a member of the OSSAA board, I have heard numerous presentations about esports and the merits that it has with the student bodies of the schools that participate, and really had kind of hoped that we could have gotten to it last year, but it didn't work out with everything else that we had going on. So I wanted to make sure that we got this in before we started this school year, and would recommend approval. It will require somewhat of an investment on our part with some computer software and with some probably with some amped up computers, but I think it will be a benefit to our student body.
Mr. President, I make a motion to add esports to the list of extracurricular activities offered at Guthrie High School.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Can you expand a little bit exactly on what they're going to be doing? I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
What they, esports, they will compete against other schools, but they will do it, in many cases, virtually, online. And we will be in one of our computer classrooms. The school there, they will be competing against, and there are several different games that they compete against them on, where they will be competing after school, and it will be through an internet connection. And there are college scholarships for this. UCO is one of the biggest in this part of the nation of having the program, and that's where the state championships were this past year.
What kind of games?
They have, it's Fortnite, I believe, is one of them. It's, I can't remember. It's nothing that is questionable.
It's not the violence games that we're playing all the time.
No, it's not. But it is. And some of you guys know, I don't play those kind of games, but I do have a flight simulator on my computer at home with an amped up computer, and so and you can do that virtually as well.
Over here.
Sometimes I'd love to fly away, but the kids, this is what this does is this touches a different group of our student body and provides them something. And you guys have heard me preach for years now that the number one way to help kids succeed in life is to extend the school day and the structure that comes with it. This is another way that we do that.
Dr. Simpson, will you tell them, it will be a club sport, so it will not be 7th hour. It will be at the time, if we have athletes that want to still do this, it may be after, 6 or 7 o'clock. So it will be a club sport that we will not be taking a teacher out of the classroom to do that.
Thank you.
And it'll be monitored. I mean, we're not going to have kids sitting
We'll have
in
an adult.
Okay, I was going to say, because we're not going to have kids sitting in a classroom with free reign doing Xbox to do other things.
There's a coach.
Okay, good.
There's a coach's stipend on there for $2,000 that Mr. Chappell put on.
Perfect.
So we'll have a sponsor.
Some of these schools that are involved in this, how many kids would you have involved in an esports team? I mean, 5, 10, 20?
When I was talking with Sean McDaniel with Oklahoma City Public Schools, they have a varsity and a JV at some of their high schools, and they have uniforms. It's
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gotten quite big.
And I will say this too. It's something that until the OSSAA jumped in had been largely unregulated. And so when the OSSAA jumped in and began regulation of this, some of the people that were the pioneers of this did not appreciate the regulation. And as an OSSAA board member, I heard from them. But it is something that it's had some growing pains along the way because of that. But it also has taken off at a crazy pace.
So I don't suppose anybody breaks a sweat, right?
Well, we'll give them water breaks if they need it. Physicals are not mandatory.
So, so there's the potential for future, that we're going to have additional investments that's going to be required as this goes on.
Sure, it's like anything else.
Yeah, we're going to have to continue. Well, yeah, but as we all know that, technology is quite expensive, so it's not like buying a football or a baseball. Technology is going to be pretty expensive, but it's well worth it. Don't get me wrong, I am all for it. But yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion?
Get a motion to
So we already did. I
Yeah.
apologize. Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Celine?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, agenda item 10W, recommendation, consideration, action upon agreement with EduSkills for 2022 to 2023 school year.
Again, this is another of the items that we bring this time of year. This is the software that we use to identify our English language learners, and it's proven very beneficial for us. And recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move we approve the agreement with EduSkills for 2022-23 school year.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Celine?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, agenda item 10X, recommendation, consideration, action upon contract with Sodexo, Inc. for 2022 to 2023 child nutrition services.
Every 5 years, because we use a private child nutrition service provider, we are required to go out for a competitive bid. Each year in that 5-year window requires a re-ratification of that agreement. The process is extensive, and Michelle Chappell headed that up this year, as she did 5 years ago. Also, you can see the tabulation sheet, and this bid process is qualitative in that they look at multiple facets of what are provided through the RFP process. And the recommendation was to renew with Sodexo for the next 5 years, beginning with this coming year as the first year of that 5. And Dr. Chappell will be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the contract with Sodexo, Inc. for 2022-2023 for child nutrition services.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Celine?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10Y, receive bids for the purchase of $10,500,000 general obligation building bonds, Series 2022A of the district, and vote to award said bonds to the lowest bidder, complying with the notice of sale and instruction to bidders.
All right, John, we got a really good bid tabulation, it looked like, considering what you and I were afraid we might have.
That is correct. Did you guys get copies of the
They have, yes.
Well, I think it's ironic. I think I was YZ maybe one of the last meeting I was here, so I guess you guys stop at Z and that's it.
No, we go AA,
We've done double letters
We've done
before,
that
so.
before.
But I'll guess that you, when you saw that agenda, never thought you'd be speaking to us at 10 after 7.
You are right. Well, as Dr. Simpson has stated, you guys had a very good sale today. The market's really not been good for borrowing funds over the last 6 months. But when we put together the offering document that you guys approved at the previous meeting, back then we thought we'd be, a little bit over 3, maybe 310, 320. Market came down. We received 3 bids today, all very close together. So this truly is a reflection of the market for your actual rating, the size of your district. And BOK Financial Securities was the lowest bid at a 2.763619%. The 2 other bids were just a hair higher than that, with Piper Sandler at a 2.803282, and then Robert Baird at 2.815524%. So This was a pleasant surprise. We still have your net assessed valuation that comes out in about a month, and hopefully less than a month, kind of see where you end up levy-wise. But right now, we're assuming you're going to be under your 17 mills, probably half a mil under that. This is a tough market. We tried our best to put you right at 17 mills, but we certainly didn't want to have a situation where we came in over. And it's your good fortune that the bids came in where they did. Typical resolution, I'd be glad to answer questions any part of that. But right now, on this agenda item, you received the bids. We're recommending that you award to BOK Financial Securities, Inc. And I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions for John? I want to say that I truly appreciate the work that he's done to get us here. This is going to be the highest interest rate we've had since we've been back in the issuing bond business, but considering the climate right now, I think we're probably in as good a shape as we could hope for.
Give you some color on this. This is what's called a non-BQ, which is over 10 million. So basically the bidders don't get this certain tax advantage I will not bore you with tonight. But we also sold 2 bonds for Tulsa Public Schools. They do 5-year bonds. And they had a non-BQ deal today. Their low bid was at 2.19, almost 2.2%. Now they're a AA rated school district, but you guys were very close in that area. But yours was a 10-year term, theirs was a 5. And so I feel very comfortable with the bids that you received, and certainly BOK's low bid. So.
Okay, any other questions or any? So do we have a motion to approve?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we award said bonds to the lowest bidder, to BOK Financial Securities for the purchase of the $10.5 million general obligation building bond series 2022A.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any other board discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, agenda item 10Z. Well, we made it to the end of the alphabet. Consider and vote on a resolution providing for the issuance of general obligation bonds in the sum of $10,500,000 by Independent School District Number 1, Logan County, Oklahoma, authorized at an election called and held for such purpose, prescribing form of bonds, designating bonds as general obligation building bonds, Series 2022A, providing for the registration thereof, approving the form of a continuing disclosure certificate, providing for the levy of an annual tax for the payment of principal and interest on the same, and fixing other detail of the issue.
Once again, this is a standard resolution that essentially authorizes the issuance of the debt. Be glad to answer any of the verbiage that's within this agenda item, but more importantly, this is except for closing the transaction where you receive the funds. This is kind of the culmination of months of work, and you received a rating that involved your district personnel. I don't know how many times I've mentioned this, but we had a I don't know, how long a rating call did we have, Michelle? It's probably 45 minutes. Was it that long? To an hour? But Michelle did a very good job answering all the questions, and you have to be prepared because they're wanting to paint a picture of your district. And so I don't think I've always mentioned that, but staff, excellent job in putting the information out there that gets this thing sold. So.
Mr. President, I move that we approve a resolution providing for the issuance of general obligation bonds in the sum of $2,500,000 by the Independent School District Number 1, Logan County, Oklahoma.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item 11, proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA request, resignation, separation from employment, and transfer of position request, all is set out on the personnel report, and teacher negotiations for 2022 to 2023, disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirements of state and/or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307, B, 1, 2, and 7. Do we have a motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Smedley?
Yes.
Gerard?
Yes.
Flagg?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Salee?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, agenda item 11B, this acknowledges the board's return to open session. Only items in agenda 11 were discussed in executive session, and no votes were taken. This shall constitute the executive session minutes. So agenda item 12, vote on action is set out on the personnel reports.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve the personnel reports.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Clyde.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 13, action upon recommendation of extra duty assignment for head cross-country coach for 2022 to 2023.
Mr. President, I would recommend that the board employ Bryce Balanciefen as the head cross-country coach for the 2022-2023 school year.
Okay, we have a motion.
Say his last name again.
As I said,
Balanciefen.
Are we going to call him Coach B?
Yeah. Mr. President, I move we approve the head coach Bryce Balanciefen, is that right?
Siefen, yeah.
Okay, for the cross-country coach for 2022-23.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Clyde.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 14, recommendation, consideration, action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of the agenda.
We have none.
Agenda item 15, discussion of possible action on new business not known about or could not have been reasonably foreseen at the time of the agenda posting.
We have none.
And agenda item 16, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Smedley.
Yes.
Gerard.
Yes.
Clyde.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis. Yes. Salee.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Nobody leave.
Nobody leave.
Signatures.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.